Okay. So, hi guys! Welcome to Kamusta Papo? Repping from Banga, South Cotabato, the only podcast in town with your host, Papo Olives, and your guest, Marela, Juaman. Yay!
Hello! Kamusta, Papo? Kamusta,
Kamusta?
South Cotabato? Kamusta, Pilipinas?
Yes! Okay. Cotabato daw. Kamusta Pilipinas? I love that. So, char.
Sure. Oo.
True. Sobrang true. So, so for our wala nun, good nga first timers. So for today, makikita naman sa title down below. Char! Nagtagalog na. Makikita naman sa title down below na what we're going to talk about is all about public speaking for anxious people. Yes, so kaya ko dinala ngayon si Marela Juaman sa aming Zoom podcast dahil siya ay isang public speaker. Tested and proven public speaker na, guys. 'Di ba, Marela? Pila na ka events? Events ba matawag mo na? Seminars? Ang na ano mo? Ilang events or
Hindi ko. Ay, nahiya akong sabihin. Nahuya ako pero I lost count. Oo. I've been a public speaker for more than 2 years already.
Oh, see, guys. Oh my God. So, perfect guest talaga si Marela for our topic for today. So, let's start off with what is public speaking? Marela, can you answer that question? What is
Thank you for that wonderful question, Charles. So, for me,
yes.
So, for me, I mean, public speaking is a process wherein you want to convey a message or something that is very important, lalo na, for example, sa trainings. And before that, you should really know what is the profile of the audience first so that you can give or your presentation or your public speaking would be effective. So, ayun. So, ang pinaka-importante na dapat nating tandaan is that yung public speaking is not about the speaker per se, but it's about the message and how well will you deliver it. So, ayun, Papo.
Yes. May nasabi ka profile of your audience. Pwede mo i-elaborate kung ano ibig sabihin ng profile of your audience?
Okay, yeah. Yung profile naman ng mga audience, yun yung mga demographics. Like, for example, you should consider the ages, their interests. Like, for example, I've been to leadership trainings, I've been to mental health trainings, and sa mga employment, yung last month, parang employee empowerment. So you should really know who you should really know your audience first so that even though pare-pareho yung mga topics, then if pare-pareho yung mga topics, dapat kilalahanin mo sila para alam mo kung paano yung process or yung may presentation mo. You can insert jokes, pero hindi lahat ng jokes pwede sa mga bata. So,
yes.
Ayun.
Okay, so, can you tell us more about your experiences? Kasi di ba nasabi mo na 2 years ka na sa public speaking field na yan. So, can you tell me more about your experiences? Started from the bottom, now you're here na mga experiences.
Sige, sure. My first public speaking was, it was not a training but a presentation. Because my professors... No, pwede din.
Pwede, diba?
But my professors, one of my professor really, approached to me and she wanted me, they were very proud of our thesis. So my thesis was presented to the first Mindanao Research Congress. So ayun. Ayun.
Proud girl.
And tapos hindi namin alam kung anong gagawin namin. So ang ginawa na lang namin first is yung parang class presentation lang, and then we didn't know the rules na dapat 10 minutes lang ang presentation. So, ayun, sumobra kami and then very palpak. So, it was a failure. But after that, when I joined pageants, I was really inspired to create a voice for mental health. Diba? Alam mo naman dito sa atin, which, maraming stigma and all. And one of the activists and a major player sa public speaking, si Ma'am Charmaine Ladot, she invited me to the first youth speaking engagement. So lahat-lahat ng mga advocacy nandun, and I was there. And up until now, I am training with her. Oo. And I really, really want to emphasize nga yung you really have to know your audience first kasi one time last year, tuloy-tuloy yung mga school engagements and talks about mental health. And then I was invited by one private industry, and ayun, present ko din sa kanila. And then doon ko na nalaman na ang gusto pala nila is parang nasa mental health din siya, pero under stress management. So, yun pala yung gusto nila. So, yung deliver ko about depression and DSM-5 and the diagnosis and everything.
So, mas na-down nun.
Yun yung nangyari. So, madami yung nag-question sa akin. So, so ano ngayon? If depression, ano ba yung yun sa amin? Yung questions are, nakapsit ako, girl. Yes, sit talaga ako. And after that, I really apologize to the crowd. To the crowd. To the crowd. So, I really apologize. And then, I told them that, and then their questions about their work under organizational industrial psychology, na-answer ko naman their questions. Pero yun lang, hindi ko na-deliver sa presentation. So yun talaga ang nagtatak sa mind. So you really have to know your the profile of your audience first, the demographics.
Yes, okay. So may ni-note ako dito, Marela, na kasi may nasabi ka, you wanted to be a voice for mental health. Who pushed you, Mar? If it's okay to ask you. Who pushed you? What pushed you? What motivated you to be a voice for mental health? Lagi na ba yun since you were young? Or ngayon mo lang talaga na feel na, eto ang calling ko, ganon?
Actually, it was recent lang. It was before I graduated college because I know with my almost 3 years in college, I really wanted to go in the field of industrial psychology. I really want to work HR, and ayun, natapos ko ng abnormal and clinical psychology. But then when I entered pageantry, so yun, na-discover ko, especially si Rio, she was really a friend and a mentor to me. Yes, and when the organization yan, yung lakambini ng Coronadal, they said that we were required po na magkaroon ng advocacy. So, ayun na yung mas maganda. So, ayun, psychology, mental health. But at first, I was not really a strong advocate about that. I just want to put it to paper so that my answer would be great sa question and answer. Pero Rio really pushed me na, sabi na, Mar, this is a great opportunity kasi, if you push this, field sa psychology, lalo na yung, mental health in general.
Yes.
Marami kang matutulungan. So, ayun, after ng pageant, a lot of the, even strangers ask me about depression, especially teenagers. A lot of them ask me, at first, I really don't know how to answer them because I didn't equip myself with knowledge and skills. Pero ngayon, nag-a-attend ako ng trainings, maraming free online. So, ayun, I took advantage of it. So, and until now, Rio, close contacts kami ni Rio, and just really supporting sa 17 mental health challenge natin. And ayun, siya talaga yung nag-inspire sa akin.
By the way, I love your 7-day mental health challenge, girl.
Thank you.
Hindi siya nakaka-pressure, mas nakikilala mo pa yung sarili mo through this challenge. No, girl, no.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Renmar. With that, I want to ask how to be an effective speaker like you. Char! Kasi when it comes to public speaking, di ba, sometimes you're just blabbering, sometimes you're just talking nonsense na parang minsan wala na sa topic yung mga sinasabi mo. Di ba?
I agree.
So, paano maging effective speaker na yung may mapupulot talaga yung mga tao na nakikinig.
Well, at first, you really have to be passionate about what you want to talk about.
Yes.
Diba? First, you have to be very passionate. You have to master the art of storytelling. So,
Yes.
ayun, before kasi,
Kinabahan ka ba? Kinabahan ka ba
yes!
at first?
The anxiety, the fear is usually before you speak. It is usually happening when they are presenting your credentials. Credentials. She is a graduate.
You speak.
Yes.
Okay, go.
Because you don't know what will be the response of the audience. What will be the response of the audience, ano yung mga tao na sa front, diba? Hindi mo alam if sleepy sila. Yun before pala yung mag-start yung topic or your presentation or your public speaking, you should assess first the environment of the training or your public speaking. Hindi lang ikaw dapat yung i-assess mo. Again, you have to assess the profile of your audience, kung malamig ba, if it's very sleepy, then when sleepy ang environment, you should expect or you should initiate an activity, like for example, sila, ito shake, and everything.
May mga icebreakers rin.
Yes, dapat ka-ready ka for that. Bisan. Even if it's in the middle, you should really wake your audience. It's for them naman kasi. It's not for you. And aside from being passionate, you should be very fluid and teachable. Make room for mistakes because public speaking does not happen overnight. So it's a skill. You really have to do it. And if there's a mistake, then you should learn from it. Actually, mas maganda yung mga lessons, diba, from mistakes, from our failures, because it would really tattoo in our mind na hindi na natin gagawin yun. So, ayun.
Yes. So,
you should not be very hard.
Yan ba yung mga kailangan natin gawin to be an effective public speaker? Is to know the audience and to prepare the topic well, to read.
Yes. Logistically speaking, yes, you should prepare yourselves para yan. Pero if as para sa akin yun, but if you want to talk about the personality or your emotions of how you how you present yourself, then it's up to you how you'll do that. You should really tap the waters first and assign activities na para sa personality mo. Hindi naman, for example, I'm very happy, I'm very jologs when I'm when I'm in the public, and I've had a friend with me during one of my speaking engagements. He was a man. He was very strong and he was very commanding on stage. It was never funny, but he got the attention of the speakers, and that was what public speaking is all about. So ayun,
Paano ka ba sa crowd, Mar? Paano ka ba sa crowd? Jologs ka ba? Serious type
Super,
ka ba? Super jologs?
Super jologs. Para lang makuha ko yung attention ng mga students, ng mga individuals or yung mga participants, I insert a joke about, it's not a joke. I insert something that could spark their mind. Kumbaga, like, for example, with insert example about sexual disorders. Diba? Very, ano yan? So,
Yeah. So, dead air. Ay, may nag-text. Bastos! Na-distract. This one. What can you say about those who want to venture in public speaking but cannot? Kasi may anxiety sila.
So ayun, anxiety. I remembered one of my wise aunts. She said that anxiety is there because you don't know what you're heading, diba? You're anxious because you think that a lot of people will criticize you. They will criticize about your looks, about what you will present. diba? If you're not good enough, everything about like that. And it's really happening inside of your mind. That's why it hinders you. It hinders you from the things that you should do, from the things that you would be in the future and you will be. So, for anxious people, they should learn, or diba kata naman, and anxious din naman tayo before we will venture into something first, kahit gusto natin, pero if it's the first one, it's a normal thing to do or to feel na anxious tayo. So first, you should really practice and learn to tap waters. Like, for example, is to find the spark within you, find the why. So if you know the why, anything that it will prevent you from going on to something that you would want in the future, you would overcome it. Even if it's real, your anxiety is real, even if you would expect na andun talaga yung mga tao that will judge you, if you know your why and if you're passionate about what you want to talk, you will really overcome it. And you will be proud of yourself.
Nice. Very well said, Mar. So, I love that you talked about the why. So, even in class reportings, Mar, or work reportings, what are the exercises? Kagahod. Naririnig ba?
Hindi ko kaya.
So, even in class report, di ba, we talked about the anxiety of a person. So, how about during yung mga bata pa na nag-start, yung mga pinapa-class reporting sila, tapos sobrang nahihiya talaga sila. Yung, ano mga masasabi mo about that?
Well, first, for me, for a teacher's perspective, you really have to
Teacher's
take it all
perspective and parents' perspective, Marha. What can you say about that?
We don't have to set high expectations for them. They're still children, di ba naman? If you want them to excel, it's a good thing. It's a good expectation from them to happen. Pero no, you have to set yourself na this kid, you really believe that this kid has a lot of things. He has a lot of capabilities that will happen in the future like that. But you have to know that being a public speaker or being a reporter lang sa classroom, it does not happen overnight. And the first thing you would do is you have, when I'm in their perspective, when I'm a parent, I should really talk to my son or to my daughter about that. You have to test his or her confidence first. You have to say anything like positive affirmations that she can do it, and everything will be okay if it's a failure or if it's a success, because if anything or everything will happen, and dun yung mga teachers, yung mga classmates and friends niya that will continue to support him or her. So ayun.
Yes. Okay. So Mar, may share pala ako.
Go!
Sa mga nakakaalam dyan, sa mga nakakaalam dyan, nakakakilala sa akin before, I'm really super bubbly. I do theater plays, mga ganon. Yes. Theater kid over here. Tapos, diba sa mga class reportings rin, pabibo rin ako dati nung high school. Kasi sa mga
hip-hop dancer.
So, hindi nakakaalam dyan, classmates kami ni Marela nung high school. And, hanggang college, first year, second year college, naging grabe ako na speaker in front of my class, in front of my university. And my one time nga na in-invite ako para sa university, ano nga yan? Unmon? Ano nga yung ibig sabihin ng Unmon? University meet. Yung parang mag-represent ka ng country. I-present mo yung country. UN meet. Ganon. Mag-represent ka ng country. For example, ikaw, si Miss Zimbabwe. Tapos, ikaw magiging delegate. Ganon. Long story short, I was a very bubbly kid with a high personality. Ganon. Pero, when my depression hit me, way back in 2017, my personality changed. And naging introvert na ako after nun. And it was hard for me to talk to people again. And it was very, very hard for me to accept the fact that I couldn't face people again. Napaka-people person ko kasi. Tapos, naging close na ako bigla. I shut down so many opportunities bigla. Nag-drop out ako ng school. Ayoko na makipag-meet sa kahit sino, ganon. And that went on for so many years. I changed schools. I tried to go back to school, pero hindi ko kinaya kasi may mga reportings. And that was when I realized na may stage fright na ako. So, let's talk about stage fright more.
So, ayun, amazing. Tapos,
Yes.
ngayon ko lang nalaman,
Yes.
diba? Nalaman, diba?
Nalaman! Ang Ilonggo natin dyan.
Ang Ilonggo natin dyan, mas. Okay, let's talk about stage fright.
What
Ay,
can
machikal mo.
Hinihintay lang
Oo.
more.
Well, there are extreme cases ng stage frights like you, diba? You've said
As
that
in, kasi yung stage fright ko, nanginginig talaga.
It manifests in your body, diba? In the physical body. It creates psychomotor agitation. Like, for example,
Ilis natin yan. Psychomotor agitation.
Yes, it's a psychomotor agitation is a movement of a muscle which you could not control talaga yung movement. Like, pasmado, that's a psychomotor agitation. And that's one of the, hindi ha, baka may makita akong pasmado dyan. So, ay, depressed.
No.
No, that's a no talaga.
That's a
Only
no.
a mental health professional can diagnose. So, ayun, you manifest psychomotor agitation, and then your, may share ako na if every time na may cases, for example, stage fright and anxiety, meron talagang nagaganap sa brain natin. For example, dun kay, when our mind, for example, si prefrontal cortex dito sa noo, if alam niya, I'm in front of everybody, I'm anxious, it will, it will tell your hypothalamus na you're anxious, girl, you're anxious. And si hypothalamus naman, sasabihan niya si pituitary gland na, girl, you should release a lot of cortisol, girl. You should secrete
Ano yan si cortisol, girl?
It's a stress hormone, girl.
Ay! Stress hormone
siya. Yes, stress hormone. Opo, stress hormone. So, yun si stress hormone. Nakalimutan ko na. Yung si stress hormone, sasabihan niya yan sila, after yan, si stress hormone, si cortisol, masisecrete siya dito sa adrenal gland, and then it will go to our bloodstreams. So, ayun, nanginginig ka, and then you're breathing, tapos lahat na everything that you could imagine when a person is stressed or in a panic attack, everything will happen like that. So, yun, we could not really say to a person who is experiencing a panic attack or a stage fright, calm the fuck down.
Pwede ka wala pa akong sponsors.
Calm down, breathe. So, ayun, yung perfect exercise dyan is for breathing talaga so that it would go back to the natural state, yung sa rest state ng body natin. So, ayun, that's what's happening when you're experiencing panic attack or stage fright.
So, dito nag-umpisa.
Oo. Siyempre sa mata mo na. Optical rod.
Sa dito nag-umpisa.
So, ayun. After that, you will not step on the stage again. Kasi that happened. That's kind of a traumatic personal experience for you. And then that, in the perspective of cognitive behavioral therapy, they said, ding mga thoughts na nila, like for example, the cognitive thoughts about this, our, what they call that, schema ba yung tawag dyan? That it's a belief, a personal belief na, ayun, I will never go on the stage again because that will happen to me again. So that stopped us from going to stage and to share our thoughts, diba? Para sa mo, parehas sa imo, diba? You were very active back then, but now you're kind of, you're confused why this thing's happening. You're having second thoughts. What if that will happen? That will happen again. Oo. So, ayun, ang dami talagang exercises and it's not an overnight. Mababalik yung mga natin, mga possibilities na kaya natin magtan. Go. Go, pick yapon.
Okay. So with that, Mar, with what you said na exercises, so first things first, I'm the realist. First things, first things first is yung breathing.
It's
Breathing
one of the
exercise.
easiest hack.
Okay, breathing.
Breathe through your nose and exhale through your mouth.
Okay. Ilang times?
Depende if okay ka na. So,
Diba,
in the
hasta
Senate,
okay ka
for
na?
other people, it is short. Yes. I-assess mo dapat if it's okay na. Okay na ba? So, ayun. You would know naman yan eh. 4 breathings. Breathe for 4 hours again. 4 seconds and then hold it for 4 seconds but exhale through your mouth for 8 seconds. Or pala yun, dapat alamin natin what is the difference between fear and anxiety first, diba? Fear is the body's response to the diba? Dapat alamin natin, diba?
Alamin natin.
So fear is the body's response to an immediate danger. So, for example, if you're, I don't know, may hold upper, then the body's natural reaction is to run away from the danger. It's a flee or fight. And anxiety naman is the body's response to the danger on the future pa.
Response to the
Future pa. That's why
danger.
we're very anxious, especially now in this pandemic going on. Diba? We don't know when will this end. So a lot of us are getting anxious. When will I get a job again? When will I go to school face to face? Everything is happening, and a lot of people, millions of people, are anxious because they don't know when this pandemic will end. So ayun.
Yeah.
So fear is when you are in front na, and then a lot of eyes are looking at you. That is fear. But anxiety is a feeling that a lot of assumptions are going on inside of your head. What if? Mga what if natin. What if mali. What if they don't like my presentation? What if I'm not good enough? So ayun, before the presentation, you should really get this positive affirmation techniques or hacks like I can do it. I believe in my why. I know why I am here. I need to deliver this message because this is important to them and this is important for me also as a lecturer, as a public speaker.
Yeah.
So ayun, you should combat anxiety because a lot of dreams and hopes, diba, they're being killed by anxiety. For example, this public speaking, diba?
Yes.
You could have been a good speaker, but then your anxiety took over. But then it could not steal it away from you. You can go back into public speaking when you're okay.
I can relate. I can relate. So my next and last question na ako, Mar. So, is public speaking a skill or a God-given talent? A skill to work on to or a God-given talent na pagkabuhay mo, baby ka pa lang, naga-public speaker ka na dira.
Gusto ko. Nag-debate na siya.
Nag-debate na siya, mommy!
Imagine ko. Sorry God, no bad. Sorry God, no bad. But for me, it's a skill. It's a skill. When you remember back then, diba, when we were in high school, I really don't want to report in front of you because, diba, hindi ko gusto yun. But then, ayun, if you find the meaning or the purpose behind the speaking engagement or the feeling na gusto mo talaga mag-speak, then it would come to you. That skill is being practiced every day, being practiced not overnight, but for many chances, but there will be mistakes, there will be obstacles, but you should really aim to the goal. When you aim to the goal, when you're very accurate about your goal, you're very accurate of who you want to be in the future, like for example a public speaker, then the obstacles will come out in front of you, then it will be easier for you to acquire that skill.
Yes. So, overall conclusion, Mar, what can you say about anxiety when it comes to public speaking? How to overcome anxiety when it comes to public speaking? 2 sentences, go. Charot. 2 letters,
Ganun guys.
go. Joke lang. Biskan pila ka sentence, go.
Take it easy.
Ah.
Ayun lang. Take it easy. You can overcome everything if you want to be a public speaker, if you want to be an entrepreneur. Take it easy lang. You can do it. Believe it. You can do it every day. Focus at the task at hand. For example, you want to do something today for public speaking. You want to watch TED Talk, for example, to get an inspiration. You should focus at the task at hand, because you can be better. You will be better one day at a time.
Yes! Wow! Amo na siya ang words of wisdom nga ginapangayot ka.
Nakaya ko siya! Nakaya ko siya.
Yes. So, pwede tanan ni ma-wrap. We can wrap this up na ba? Okay,
Of course.
That's it, guys. This is your host, Papo Olives. I would like to thank Marela Juaman, the Miss South Cotabato 2018. 18? Miss South Cotabato 2018. Marela Glaspea, Caro, Juaman, RPM, Miss South Cotabato 2018. Miss Bayanihan.
Ay, tama.
Ilagay ko talaga yan sa baba. Miss Bayanihan, GMA Bayanihan Queen. Queen ba? Shy. Yeah. So I'm so proud to have you here, Marela. So glad to have you here. Thank you for all the wonderful insights na binigay mo. Thank you for all the advice for all those anxious people, especially me, kasi I really want to go back to public speaking, pero all I can do right now is one-on-one Zoom podcast kasi
actually you're doing great na, diba? You're actually doing great.
One at a time. One step at a time.
One day at a time. Baby steps, baby girl. Baby steps, baby girl.
Thank you for having me. Ay, ako talaga. Thank you, baliktad. Dapat ikaw magsabi nun. Ikaw na lang magsabi nun, Mar.
So, ayun, Papa, thank you for having me. This has been, very good. It's a good opportunity. It's my first time to talk about public speaking, actually. And yes, and that opportunity, you were the first one to give me that. So, thank you. Thank you
rin, Marela. So, to all my, wala pa naman ako siguro subscribers, pero to my
Isa na ako.
Yes! Woo! To my listeners, thank you so much. To my sponsor, wala pa. Pero soon, sana magka-sponsor na. Beken naman. Tapos,
umanda ka na, Joy Spring, ha?
Umanda! Sino pa pasalamatan ko? Yun lang. Thank you for everything. God, thank you for my beauty parents. Thank you for my genes.
Dapat lang.
Dapat lang yan yung mga pinapasalamatan natin sa podcast na ito. Thank you for everything. And remember, guys, day 6 pa lang ngayon ng challenge ni Marela, and it's list down something you're grateful for. So this is one thing I'm grateful for, having Marela on my show.
Oh,
yes!
Thank you! Tataman ka sa akon.
So that ends my podcast. Please comment down below. Please comment down below, subscribe, and hit the like button pag feel nyo lang. Please, guys. So, bye!
Kailangan naman sponsor. Bye! Bye-bye, Papo. Thank you.
Ano mag-end sila?